Comfortable like that? I'll make it.
I mean, you don't have to get so close. It's honestly, it's like we're all good. I need a little bit of space.
Yeah. Obviously, trade deadline passed. You guys lost a few guys. Is there just a message or anything you just say in the clubhouse today coming back here, not having some guys in there?
No, to me, there's no need to address it. The reality of the game at the trade deadline is that there's a good possibility that you're going to lose teammates, and we understood that going in, that there was a chance that we'd move some players. So, for us as a group, we've been playing good baseball. That's really what we're focused on. So, yes, it's a change from where we were with Mason and with JP. And as well as Andujar. But, we've been through a lot of adversity. We've been through a lot of change this season in roster. So, to me, it's just move forward and worry about going out tonight and playing a game that matters.
Do you have a sense of how you fill those roles that JP and Mason had?
Yeah, for me, the bullpen has been pitching pretty well, and obviously Mason was a big part of that, right? So we've been blessed with Mason on the back end to have a lot of confidence in bringing him in the ninth inning. The guys that have been throwing the baseball pretty well leading up to this move. Michael Kelly's done a great job. Someone with a little more experience than maybe an Elvis Alvarado, who's also been throwing the ball really well. And Sean Newcomb's been pitching really well. So there's some guys back there that we'll look at, and I don't want to name anyone right now in terms of being replacing Mason as a closer, but I do feel like we have some good options there.
Well, how do you feel about Jake Perkins at this point? He gave up that homer the other day, but he was back in the
Yeah, JP Perk. For me, he was a starter in the minor leagues. He's pitched out of the bullpen. We stayed with him for 2 innings the other night when Mason was unavailable, and he did a nice job finishing that game for us. I think the future, outlook for Perk is more conducive to being a starter. Even though he's had success down in the bullpen, I think we can always bring him back to that role. But we're going to look at probably stretching him out as we move forward. So for Luis, I spoke a little bit about him on the Townsend show today. The journey that he's been through, even though he's a young man, is probably today's probably a great day for him. And it should be for any player that obviously makes a debut. But for him to come out of a country like Cuba. His path to get to the big leagues is probably a little more difficult than most, and I think that today's a really rewarding day. He's earned this opportunity. He's thrown the ball really well. It's an accelerated path, right? To a certain extent, but there's a lot of confidence behind what he's been able to do, and we'll kind of ease him in the same way we've done with JT and with Burke out of the bullpen, even though he's a starter. And there could be a possibility of getting him into the rotation at some point before we release him.
Without using the word master, which you don't like, what's your plan for?
I like that. Thank you.
What's your plan for Blede now that you have Cortez?
JJ will see some playing time. We're looking at Cortez right now. He's obviously got a nice job with him. Right now, JJ's here to be a left-handed bat off the pitch, and he'll have some starting opportunities as well.
You've probably already decided who started taking place.
Next question. I don't have a name. I'll name it tomorrow.
How do you plan on taking advantage of a team that also lost some of their star players in the Arizona Diamondbacks starting tonight and continuing the momentum that your team has had, not just this week, but almost all month in July?
Yeah, 13-11, let's talk about that, the record in July. Our goal to start out this season was to have winning months, and we did that coming out of the chute in April. It wasn't great May and June, but we've made a turn, and we played better in July, which is a good sign, like you said. So, our goal is to finish off the next 2 months with winning months. And I think we reflect on the last 10 games in the division that's played pretty good baseball. the teams that we went through, and to finish 6-4 out of those 10, we've got some momentum, and we want to carry that forward. Like you said, this D-back team also went through some change in losing Suarez and some others, but again, I think that at this level, every team understands what you go through in working out the details of the trades, and yet focusing on just playing the game and going out and being ready to compete.
Throughout your years in baseball, when you have a team that makes trades similar to the way you guys made trades, there's the dog days, quote unquote, of the summer. What's your mindset in terms of approaching that, conquering that, given that your team's record is what it is?
Well, I mean, everyone has something to play for, whether that's playoff race or being a better team than we were the previous season, which I think that's one of our goals and focuses, and finishing up better. As a group of individuals, these guys have a lot to prove still from their careers personally. There's some veterans here that are still on this roster that want to play for a contract next year. So a lot of different variables lie out there for them to still be motivated to finish this thing off. And believe me, I'll motivate them myself. So, for us, there's some youth on this roster that's different, and that needs to be, paid attention to in terms of the fatigue that we talk about. Some of those individuals are on the IL right now. That'll be coming off, so they will have had a break, which will be nice because when they get back, we can run them into the ground a little bit. No, I think these guys understand what the next 2 months are, and most of them have been through it with me last year, some this previous season. So it's definitely a grind through August, but then we'll see the finish line and we'll focus on sprinting through that.
What was that trade deadline like for you as a player versus a manager? And did you learn anything and take from those experiences as a player yourself?
I never got dealt during the deadline, but for me, it's completely different as a manager. You got 26 guys or more that you care about, you focus on, as opposed to just when you're a player, you focus on yourself. So it's more challenging as a manager to go through these experiences. Because there's empathy with these guys, in their situations and just how they're impacted.
Appreciate it.